Welcome back to the studio. Joining me right now to spill some knowledge about pediatrics, Ms. Karen Martzoff with Community Hospital. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for coming on. So, Ms. Karen, let's just dive right into it. What are some of the services you guys offer?
Yeah, so at Community Hospital's Grand Valley Pediatrics, we offer full spectrum pediatric care for infants, pediatrics, and adolescents. So that can include things like vaccines and vaccine education for parents on what might be best for their children given their circumstances. It also includes things like adolescent mental health services and just healthy lifestyles, well child checks, that kind of thing. So it's comprehensive, full spectrum pediatric care.
Yes, ma'am. Literally sounds like from A to Z, you guys got it all over there.
Yeah.
So, Ms. Karen, is there a certain time that you should bring your child in for a checkup, or how does that work?
Yeah, so typically we start the pediatric education process when parents are expecting their child. So they're working with their OBGYN provider or their midwife and educating them on pediatric care services once the child is born to make sure that that child comes in right after birth and then continues on through their childhood. At Grand Valley Pediatrics, we have 3 pediatric care providers. We have 1 male provider and 2 female providers, all of whom are offering full spectrum pediatric care and all of whom are accepting new patients at this time. So it's really important to establish care earlier.
Yes, ma'am. And speaking of care, what are some summer care tips for the parents out there to help their little ones?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and now is the time to be thinking about that. Now is the time when pediatric care providers really like to educate parents on different summer safety tips. A big one that comes up every summer is car seat safety. With the temperatures exceeding 100 degrees this summer, tragically it happens every single year where a child is left in the car seat in the back of the car accidentally. So a great reminder is to put a shoe or a child's toy or some kind of reminder in the front seat of your car to make sure that when you get out of that car you take the baby with you. Sometimes grandparents are taking grandkids with them and they're not maybe necessarily used to having a child in the back seat of the car, so those reminders are critically important. Water safety is always another big one. It's important for parents to know that accidents can happen in a fraction of a second and in very, very little amounts of water. So whether it's in the bathtub or in a bucket in the backyard or of course a swimming pool, we want to make sure that eyes are on children at all times. Helmet safety is a good one to talk about when kiddos are old enough to ride a bike or a scooter or a skateboard, making sure that they always have a helmet on when they're doing so. And certainly, again, with these hot summer temperatures, we want to make sure that parents are applying sunscreen on their children, sunglasses, hats, and protective clothing just like they would for themselves.
I really like that idea of putting some in the front seat for all the parents out there, just in case, because you can always check it and look down and you're like, that is really helpful.
It's a great reminder, and you would think that it goes without saying to not leave a child in the back seat of a car, especially in the hot summer months. But again, tragically, accidents occur every summer, so we want to do everything we can to avoid those.
Well, Ms. Karen, I want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and enlightening the Western Slope about pediatric care this month. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.